Hey there, true crime fans. Today, I'm diving into what is still the most brutal prison riot in US history, the 1980 riot at the Penitentiary of New Mexico. This is not for the faint-hearted. It began early in the morning of February 2nd, 1980. Overcrowding, corruption, abuse, and terrible living conditions had pushed the inmates to breaking point. Imagine being packed into cells and dorms like sardines, with next to no medical care, poor food, and rampant violence. Something was bound to explode, and explode it did. Around 2 a.m., inmates overpowered the guards in dormitory E2, grabbing the keys and unlocking the most dangerous inmates confined to the hole. Unprecedented violence erupted. Prisoners ran wild through the facility, consuming drugs taken from the pharmacy, setting fires, and quickly seizing control of the entire prison. The horror escalated quickly. The rioters took dozens of prison officers hostage, dragging them into the central control area. The guards were beaten, tortured, and some were even sexually assaulted. We can only imagine what they endured. Then came the most terrifying part. Inmates turned on each other and targeted those they believed were snitches, sex offenders, or had wronged them, most of whom were confined to the protection unit in cell block 4. An execution squad of hardened, dangerous inmates burned their way into cell block 4 with a cutting torch left by a maintenance crew, then burned their way into each individual cell to settle scores with those inside. They attacked, tortured, and killed the jailhouse untouchables in cell block 4 with pipes, shivs, anything they could get their hands on. It was a bloodbath. By the second day, the National Guard and state police had surrounded the prison. After tense negotiations, the riot finally ended on February 4th, but the aftermath was devastating. 33 inmates were dead, hundreds were injured, and the penitentiary was left in ruins. Forensic anthropologists were needed to identify the bodies. This riot exposed the deep flaws in the prison system and was one of the major incidents that drove the supermax building boom that began in the late 1980s. Overcrowding, inhumane conditions, and a lack of rehabilitation programs created a pressure cooker ready to blow. It was a wake-up call for prison reform, but the scars remain. So what can we learn from this tragedy? It's a stark reminder of the need for humane treatment and reforms in our prisons. Ignoring these issues can lead to catastrophic consequences. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the 1980 New Mexico prison riot. If you found this story gripping, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe and curious.